Hello and welcome to the channel once again, and in today's video we are going to have a look at the functions of the Flysky Fs-i6X transmitter, that what is in there and what is it for. So let's move into it. So here on our transmitter we have got 6 to 10 channels. If you don't watch the introductory video, please just click up in there on the I button. So if we want to turn on the transmitter, just simply turn on the power button, and here we have got our home screen. This indicates our battery. This is our Flysky, the model which we are using right now, the name of the model, and this is the number of the model. And here the protocol of the transmitter is mentioned, that upon which protocol is it working right now. Here we have got the voltage of the transmitter, that is 4.67 volts right now, and down below when we connect it to our receiver, so here we get the voltage of our receiver and the signal strength. So if we want to enter the setup menu, so just press and hold OK for 2 seconds, and here we enter to our menu setup. So here are 4 buttons, 2 are for the up and down, and here we have got a cancel button. So if we want to quit settings, so we just press the cancel button, and OK button is to enter settings. And to save a setting, we just simply have to press and hold the cancel button. For example, if I just enter into the system and I just want to select a model, I want it on model 6 and I want to save it, so I am just going to have press and hold the cancel button, and it is saved. Now I just want to counter check it, so press OK button, it entered into it, and it is now on model 6 and it is saved. And if I don't want to save anything, I just want to quit the same settings as it was before. So if I change it on model 5 and I don't want to save it, I'm just going to press the cancel button once, and the settings will be just quit. Now if I check it, so it was saved on model 6. So now here we have got 2 kind of setups, that one is the system settings and one is the setup. So in the system settings, we basically have got the model settings, that which model you want to copy a model, and the receiver setups, and that is actually mostly related to the use of your transmitter, the basics use. And in the setup menu, the functions of the transmitter are concerned, that how much will be the sensitivity, which switch to use for which function. So now let's start from the system settings. And in the system settings, the first one is the model setup, the model select. So in the model select, we just have to select our model. Here are, I think so, 20 models that you can have for different kind of airplanes or quadcopters you want. So you can select each for one. I don't think so one would use all these 20. In the second one, there is a model name. So if you want to name a specific model for plane you want, so you can do it in here. For example, in the model for model 6, I just want it to Flysky. Here as I change it in here, so with the down button, the name also changes in there, and if I press OK, so it shifts to another alphabet. And if I want Y as T or S, so here it is. And if I want to save it, so press and hold cancel, and here we have got saved the alphabet which we enter in there. And the next one is model name, model type, that for which purpose you are using that specific model, for an airplane, for a helicopter, or there are many more setups. I don't even use those. I'm just using the airplane, which works for a quadcopter and our airplane model 2. The next one is a model copy. So if you want the settings of one model into another, so you just use the settings if you just set model 5 for example for an airplane, and if you are making another airplane and you want the settings of model 5 to be there in model 6, so you just use this function. The next one is the model reset. If you want to reset a model, for example, I want to reset the model 6, which I just renamed right now. So I press OK, and it asks for permission. I'm going to press yes and press OK button, and the model will be reset. Now if I enter into it, so the name is again reset to its default name. The next one is the RX setup. That is actually related to your receiver setup, that what your receiver setups will be. So the first one is the RF standard, which means that on which protocol you want your receiver to work. For example, I'm just using this receiver, the Flysky Fs-i6X, which works on the protocol of the AFHDS2A. You also have some receivers which are working on the protocol of AFHDS. For example, I have got this receiver which works on the protocol of AFHDS. So here we have to mention that which protocol you want to use. The next one is the RX battery, that on which voltage you want an alarm and on which you want a high setup. So you just decide it from here. You also have the option to select an external sensor, which is I think attached in here. I don't know, I never used it. The next one is the failsafe. In the failsafe, you just tell your receiver that what to do upon failsafe if it disconnects from your transmitter. So for example, I just want channel 3 to be set up on failsafe. I first enter into channel 3. I just press the up button to turn it on, and the position I want channel 3 to be upon failsafe, that for example I want channel 3, my throttle, to be on 50% upon the failsafe. So I put my throttle on 50% and press and hold the cancel button. So now it is on 0, which means that here my throttle is minus 50%, here is 0, and here it will be 100%. So that is upon 0 in the middle, and my throttle will be on 0 if I just get a failsafe somewhere. The next one is the sensor list, in which we get a list of the sensors, that which sensors are there. And for example, right now we just have a sensor which tells us the internal voltage of our transmitter. We also have the receiver voltage when it is connected to the ESC. So you have the option to connect some other sensors, so you will just get it here listed. The next one is 2 sensors. You can have 3 sensors connected to it. I think sometimes you need altitude sensor, or I never use that, so I don't know too much about this, but it is actually for the sensors use. The next one is the speed distance, that you want to use a speed sensor, a rotation length, or there are some kind of odometer device which are used for the measurement of the speed. So if you have connected that one to it, so you will get a data of that one in here. You can just select and set up from here. The next one is the ASL pressure, which means above sea level pressure. That is actually used for an altitude sensor. You just have to calibrate the pressure upon which the 0 position of the altitude sensor must be. So here you put the value in, and that works according to this. The next one is the output mode, that upon which mode you want your receiver to work. That is actually too much important, because sometimes you use PPM input, sometimes you use an PWM output of this receiver, sometimes you use it in IBUS or SBUS, so you just set it in here. So the next one is our IBUS setup, that our IBUS setup, which will be on which of the receiver port on here. So we just set it on here. The next one is the servo frequency, that how much times you want the servo to get input each second. Actually, frequency means that. So you want to calibrate or set this value according to your servo manufacturers give you, or you can just put it on 50. I never got a problem regarding this setup. So that was all about the setup menu, and now we'll move to the function setup. So in the function setup, the first one is the reverse. Reverse means to reverse a channel, the movement of the channel. For example, I want this stick to pitch down when I move it downwards. So and it moves upwards, so I just reverse the channel on which this stick is. This stick is, I think so, on channel 3. No, channel 4. So I don't actually remember that, but you just have to reverse that channel, that specific channel which you want to move on the opposite side. So the next one is the display settings. I want the display to tell you first, and then I'll come to the endpoints. So in the display settings, you get a display of your movements. For example, I am moving the aileron. Here we have got movement of channel 1. Here we have got the channel 3 movement, which is a throttle. So always when you move something, you have got a display of that in the display menu. So when we move to the endpoints, in the endpoints you actually have got the limit of your movement of a specific channel. For example, I've got my aileron on channel 1, and I want its throw to be moved. The throw is actually the moment, the area of the moment of your control surface. So I want the aileron to move more, so I will increase it up to 120. That is the highest limit. So in the display, actually your upon your full movement of your stick, it moves up till this line. But when I set it on limit up till the 120, then upon the full stick it goes to here up till the end. So that is the most, like on this side it was 100, so it will move up till this line, and the side which was moved to 120, it moves up till the extreme position. So that is actually the endpoint. The next one is the aux channels, that which channel, which switch you want on which channel. For example, for channel 5, I want the switch A to be working. Switch A, that is actually mentioned here. So I'll just change it to switch A, and I'll press and hold cancel button. The next one is the subtrim. Subtrim is actually the settings of your control setting, that is actually the tuning of your aircraft. For example, your rudder or your specific control surface is not aligned, so you can just align it here on the subtrim settings, that your control sticks will be moved without holding your control sticks. So it is that kind of setup. The next one is the dual rate and exponential settings, which is actually the sensitivity of your controls. I'm going to explain it in detail in a later video. The next one is the throttle curve. It actually means that how much your throttle increase upon this movement. Like for example, you want your throttle to be less, increasing from 0 to 25, so you actually decrease the value of 25, and the graph will change. So it will move from here to 0.1. Your throttle will be increasing less, and then your throttle will have more ratio of increase. The next one is the mixes setup. In mixes setup, you actually make one channel the master and another the slave. And if you want, for example, there is a phenomenon called adverse yaw, and you want your rudder to move automatically upon rolling. So you just set the master channel 1, which is your aileron, and the slave as channel 2, which is your channel 4, which is your rudder, so that will move accordingly. The next one is the elevon. If you want an elevon setup of an aircraft, you just get it from here. The next one is the VTAL, which is also an aircraft setup. So if you want an aircraft to be set up as a VTAL aircraft, so you set it up from here. The next option is the assigned switches, which means that which switch to assign for which purpose. For example, I want switch A to be functioning as a throttle hold switch, so I select switch A here and I press and hold cancel, and when I see here, so upon switch A I turn it off the throttle hold function. So the next one is the throttle hold, and in throttle hold actually we have a functionality or a control over our throttle, that if we activate it, so our throttle will be at the specific position we want. For example, upon activation of the throttle hold function, I want my throttle to be at 50% or at 60%. So I will set it at 60%, and I will press and hold cancel button to save it. So now if I go to the display settings and I want to see its functionality, so upon activating the throttle switch, for example, my throttle is at 0 right now, and if I activate it, so my throttle would automatically move to 60%. Even if I move my throttle right now, it will not move from its location which we set in the settings, that is 60%. And if I just deactivate it, so even we can move that again. Okay, so that was all about the Flysky Fs-i6X transmitter functions. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel, and if I missed something, please tell me down in the comments. Thank you and stay tuned.